Moving September 9th, 2016. This is weather warning for September the 9th, 2016 to September the 13th, 2016. First off, we're going to have solar winds that's going to be hitting Earth on September 11th to the 12th. So within that 24 hours, we're going to see storms increase. If there's any hurricanes or tropical storms that are at the formation point, most likely there is going to be one in the Atlantic Ocean out of three possibilities, and I'm going to show you guys in a second. So warning for tropical storms developing, hurricanes, major storms that wouldn't be as major, and earthquakes, medium range. Okay, I got warnings for sunspot AR2585. It might produce X-class solar flare within the next 24 hours, so keep a lookout on that. Okay. So now earthquake warning. So between September 11th till September 13th, we're going to see a pickup in earthquake activities, and we possibly it lasts about 4 to 5 days afterwards from the solar winds. So from September 11th till September, I say 16, increase in the size of earthquakes. I'm looking for a major earthquake. As we scroll down, we had a 4.2 in Chile. We had a 4.4 in Naples, 4.9 in Central America, 4.6 in Middle America, 4.5 in Japan, 4.4 in El Salvador, Central America, 4.4 in El Salvador, 5.1 in New Zealand, 4.7 New Zealand, 4.7 New Zealand. Okay, 4.2 in Bolivia. Alaska, normal earthquakes all the time. 4.6 in Greece. That's kind of unique. 4.5 in Greece, kind of unique. 5.5 in the Caribbean Sea, 5.4 in the Caribbean Sea. And then Ecuador, another 4.0. We had a 3.5 in Georgia. We had another 3.6 in Greece. Okay. Nothing big in California, but we did have a 2.5 and another 2.5 in Oklahoma. We had a 4.3 in Peru, 4.3 in Peru, 4.6 in Indonesia, 4.6 in Indonesia, 4.6 in Indonesia, 4.6 in Indonesia, 4.6 in Japan, 4.6 in Japan. We were seeing a lot of middle between 4 to almost 6.0s in Central America and South America. We see one 4.0 and 5.0 in Australia and New Zealand. We've seen two medium size in Greece, folks. Okay, so now let's move over here. This is the ionic sphere map. Okay, folks, where you see the purple and red, that's where the earthquake is, and this is the ionic sphere to the very top. When it's darker color, it's pushing down and it's magnetized. Okay, folks? And you can see in Central America, you can see around Mexico, all the way down to Chile, Brazil, all the way up in the Caribbeans where the blue is. That's where that concentration of pressure is on top of the plates there. So that's why we're seeing major activities, and I'm going to put out warnings and watches for Central America, for South America, for the next 48 hours. So till September 11th. And then on September 11th, when the solar wind, hits our Earth, within the 24 hours, we're going to see different pressure spots. And I'm going to be coming back on Tuesday and make another video. Now, another way that this is effective is if there ain't no pressure. Okay, we can see New Zealand and Australia on the borderline. If you look up, we don't see Greece on here, but you can see where it's on the borderline. That green and dark green and blue. All right, that's all infrastructure. There's so much pressure on each thing because the pressures are even more at that level, even though it's concentrated at the purple, red, dark blue. Okay, so I'm putting warnings and watches for Australia, New Zealand, up here in Japan where we're seeing that stuff. And on the on the west coast of South Africa, Okay, folks, I want everyone out there be prepared for that. Now we're going to move over to the tech plate. All right, same thing, but we're going to see the pressure where the most is at the moment. So I'm going to put warnings and watches still in effect for Central America, South America, and in the Atlantic Ocean. But in the Atlantic Ocean, we're seeing something different. So that's a Haarp ring, okay, folks? So I'm putting warnings and watches because the ionic sphere is used by Haarp too. And they can make Haarp rings. So we're going to check that out in 1 second. And here's another map, another tech map. And you can see where the pressure is at, right in the center, right there by Panama, Brazil, Chile. On the other side by Rio in Brazil. Then all the way over here in the Pacific Ocean near New Zealand, Australia, where it's 30, 40 in the middle. Okay, folks, so I'm putting warnings out for a medium all the way up to a 7.0 earthquake for the Pacific around Japan, China. I'm putting warnings and watches in China too because they've seen a whole bunch of moths, something that preps up before earthquake in China and Japan. I'm putting warnings and watches in Australia for next 24 to 48 hours all the way up to Sunday, September 11th. Putting warnings and watches for a possible major earthquake. I'm putting warnings and watches for a possible major earthquake in Central America and South America to September the 13th, folks. Also, I'm putting warnings and watches in China for earthquakes because check this out too. It's going to be down at the link. Watch this video. Like a scene from a horror film, stomach-churning videos showing billions of moths invading a Chinese country before dropping dead. That's a mass animal death right there. So billions of moths, not millions, but billions of moths invading a Chinese county before dropping dead. Okay, so I want people to check it out. And when they see moths like that, and you can read in the article, it's warnings for possible future earthquake. So put warnings and watches in China too. Okay, this is weather warning. In the next 2 days, we're going to see major storms in the northeast. Okay, as we're looking at this, you can see a lot of Haarp activity. You see Haarp activity off the coast of New Jersey in the ocean. You can see Haarp activity off the shores, about a couple 100 miles of Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. And then you can see definitely a Haarp ring right over from the center of Florida all the way down. Look how it goes in a circle all the way around, down through the middle of it's right in the Key West, right through the Caribbean, right there. Okay, so that water is being warmed up here in the middle between South Carolina and North Carolina. Water is being warmed up here by New Jersey. Water is being warmed up, okay? And all that wind from North Carolina, South Carolina, Kentucky, all the way down in the south, basically, they ain't going nowhere. All it's doing is sucking up from the Caribbeans up, and I'll show you guys in a second. So all these storms from New York, you see at the beginning these little green dots, through Pennsylvania, you can see right in the middle of the Haarp ring, all the way through Hawaii to Indiana. Here in Michigan, you can see Haarp rings. Illinois, you see right in the middle, there's a Haarp ring all the way down through the south. You see this big storm right here. Okay, you see all these little Haarp rings. I can't zoom in because I'm on a tablet. Wish I can so I could name off. You can see it up here in Canada, Haarp ring activity over here. Bismarck. So I'm putting warnings and watches for Central America all the way down to Oklahoma. Okay, now up from Oklahoma, I'm putting warnings and watches up through St. Louis, up through Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, New York for major storms from now till Monday, September the 12th. So I want everyone out there to be prepared and watch out for warning. Our next batch of systems we can see coming up here from Canada down. Okay, so warnings and watches on that for the next 3 days. You can see the Haarp rings, folks, and it's amazing. You see one big Haarp ring right here in Indiana, All right, and Illinois right in the middle. You see one big Haarp ring, well, tiny Haarp ring right in the center of Pennsylvania, and you can see activity like little ones on the edge of New York and Pennsylvania, New Jersey, but off the coast you can see Haarp rings right off the coast down here, in North and South Carolina you can see Haarp rings, and down here in Florida and off the coast of Texas down here. Okay, but all this stuff down in the south is not particular to the storm that we're seeing that's coming through. Okay, we're gonna go to the wind max. So warnings and watches for major storms, tornadoes, lightnings for the next 24 to 72 hours. All right, wind map. You could check out. You could see the moisture from the Gulf coming up through Center America, through Texas, up feeding into that system that we're seeing over Central America, Middle America. All right, and you can see the cold air pushing down. So on that line, there's going to be major storms. Okay, so warnings and watches for the next 24 hours from Bismarck all the way over to Chicago, all the way over to Detroit, Michigan, to Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, folks. Next 24 hours. Between 24 to 48 hours from right now at 10:37 on September 9th, 2016, from Columbus all the way over to New York City, we're going to see major storms. So tomorrow around 10:37, once from Columbus over to New York, we're going to see major storms. It's going to rain before that, but we're going to see major storms on overnight on Saturday, during the day on Sunday. And then we also see the increase with the solar winds that's coming in September 11th, between September 11th to September 12th. Any storms out there will increase. Okay, folks? Now let me take you to the global so we can do this hurricane warning. Okay, so where Florida is and where the Caribbean is and Key West, you see that circle right by Puerto Rico and stuff, and Cuba, definitely on top of Cuba, but we could see that Haarp ring where it was right there, folks. So, and they had earthquakes there today, like I reported on just a few minutes ago, right there in the Caribbean. So Haarp's happening there. So they're heating up that water, heating up the water up here. Okay, we got 4 chances of a possible hurricane, folks. All right, coming up. We got one that's right over almost Florida. I'm gonna say that has a 50% chance of becoming a hurricane. The one that is on top of the 20 north, right between 50 west, that has a one. I say a 1 out of 5. 1 out of 10, I say that has a 3 out of 10 chance of becoming a hurricane because it's dying. But the ones that are coming off of Africa, the waves, all right, they're all in the perfect position between 10 north and 20 north. So the first storm you see out in ahead, all right, we're in the middle. If it's keep going, if it passes 20 north before it gets to 55 west, it's not going to make it a hurricane. That got 50-50 chance. But definitely, I'm saying this right now. The one that's on top of the 10 north, between 10 north and 15 north, has a 100% chance of becoming a hurricane, folks. So watch out. And on top of that, when you look at the Earth globe winds, you can see the high pressure and low pressure. Give it a second. You can see the moisture getting fed by the Caribbean up. That's why those storms that I was showing you right there are going to be intensified. But on top of that, they got Haarp rings, and then off the coast. But you can see, any storms that's coming off of Africa, and definitely the new ones, are going to be right in that perfect line. Okay, and they're charging right off the coast of North Carolina and South Carolina. They got Haarp rings that I just shown you, people. Okay, so I want you guys to take that in effect. And on top of that, when we go back over here, you can see the Haarp rings. Right there. Alright. So the one right in the middle, man, I'm putting warnings and watches for a future hurricane. We should keep a watch on it. Within the next 7 days, it should perform. And then on top, we got Haarp rings in effect right now. Then we got solar winds that's coming in effect. It's in the perfect line between 10 north, 15 north. The wave that's coming off now, and the second wave that's ahead of it. It's right between that stage where it could become a tropical storm, probably make it to a hurricane. But definitely the wave that's coming off of Africa right now got a 100% chance of becoming a hurricane, and the one that's right over Florida, it got a 80% chance of becoming a hurricane. So I want everyone out there to be prepared. I'll do a weather video on September the 13th. Warnings and watches for major storms for the Midwest and northern Central America from right now, 10:42 p.m. September 9th till 10:42 p.m. September the 17th. Once it moves by Columbus, the major part of the storm, where we see the Haarp ring in 48 to 72 hours basically, but it'll be 24 hours from now for them tomorrow. From tomorrow night till Monday morning, major storm warning for Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York. And keep a lookout. I got earthquake warnings for Central America. They could be major, and South America. This is the No Face Movement. All these videos, all these weather links you can find at the beginning of the page. Some of the stories that we just covered is going to be at the bottom. This is the No Face Movement. Till next time, please like, share my videos, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. This is the movement. Till next time, facing off.